Welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope and the new Nigeria is possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Once again, we're here to deliberate on the things that are happening in Nigeria. But most especially, the breaking news making rounds is that the Obidient Dele Farotimi has been sent to prison hurriedly. That is what is going on. And of course, so many Nigerians are reacting. Citizens are reacting. Like we said earlier in the day, it's all about the action that we are going to take. He has been remanded in prison for allegedly defaming a legal luminary and founder of Afe Babalola University. Well, the Dele Farotimi is said to be accused of maligning and defaming the character of Afe Babalola in his recently published book, Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. But as of today, Dele Farotimi has pleaded not guilty to all the 16-count charges. The police prosecutor Samson Osun called for the remand of the suspect in prison custody pending further investigation and its outcome for the maintenance of security in the country. You can imagine that. But of course, the counsel to Dele Farotimi, which is Dayo Akreduru, opposed the call, pleading with the court to admit the defendant to bail on very liberal terms and on self-recognizance. According to him, the case at hand is bailable and the suspect is a known figure who is not constituting any threat to society. He said the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty. However, in his ruling, the presiding judge, Magistrate Abayomi Adeshun, remanded the suspect in prison pending the adjourned date till December 10th. With me to have this very discussion and other things in between, I have Angel in the studio, and of course I have active citizens who are joining us virtually.
Welcome to the program Hope Alive. Sit tight, relax, let's discuss.
Yes, as we are entering into this very discussion, please do like and share so that other obedience will know that Yunusa Tanko, the interim national coordinator of the Obidient movement, has declared that there is going to be a very serious consequences if he is not released. The Obidient movement today had issued a stern warning to the Nigerian police force to release Dele Farotimi or face massive protests across Nigeria. This was contained in a statement signed today by Dr. Yunusa Tanko, who said obviously that we unequivocally condemn the nefarious act of abuse of power and demand that the Nigerian police respect Dele Farotimi's fundamental human right as enshrined in the Section 40 of the Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. We urge the Nigerian authorities to ensure that the immediate and unconditional release, guaranteeing his rights, are protected throughout this process. Failure to release him immediately will shall evoke our fundamental rights as citizens to engage in a series of public protests across the country to challenge this gross abuse of power and neglect of the people. Now, Angel, let's start with you. The Obidient have spoken earlier in the day. Where I was discussing and having our viewers understand the issues at stake and the video that came out as a result of how he was abducted or kidnapped.
Yes.
Now, I see that a lot of people were actually protesting online, which means everybody is talking, going to X and all of that, and say that may not be the antidote. That may not be the real medicine to Nigeria, because when you are talking online, they feel that, well, even Tinubu said he doesn't go online and all of that. Go to Twitter and read what is happening. And I recommended that For things to happen, there must be physical protest. And now that you are seeing that Dr. Yunus Atanko has come out to say that Obedience are going to react, but demanding for a release now that he's already in prison is like already we are talking about the protest itself, because it's a bailable offense. He should have been released on bail. He's a known figure. And why is he now kept in prison? So do you think that the Obedience should mobilize support for a protest for Dele Farotimi to be released?
Yes, the Obedient movement needs to, as an emergency as possible. Yes, they need to protest so that they will ring the bell and send the message to the authorities, because Nigerian judiciary is messed up already. This country belongs to all of us. It needs to be freed from tyranny and impunity. Yes. Why? It's a bailable offense. Why is he not being bailed?
Yeah, I think again...
Why did they refuse?
Yeah, looking at it from the other part, talking to the Obedience right now, Dele Farotimi is an obedient, a core obedience, and I think we owe it to him to massively not just talk and ramp up support online, but also to come out to show who we really are at this very time. Yeah. Such threats has been sent to Aisha Yusuf, if you recall, some time ago.
Exactly.
Or when she said, obviously, that if they want to carry her, she will even eat free food there and all that. But what we are saying right now is that there's some time that the Obedience needs to come out to show support for their own. Yes. Dele Farotimi has always been truthful on what he said. I will come back to you again, Angel, but let me
And
quickly...
it's as if they are doing, what they are doing is what he wrote in the book.
Yes.
Because free speech is not a crime.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get these charges to our viewers quickly. I will not go there. It's about 16 count charges, but let me start with just one of the charge. They said that you, Dele Farotimi, sometimes in 2024 authored, published and circulated your book titled Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System, which was received and read all over the world, including Ado-Ekiti, within the Ado-Ekiti magisterial district, wherein you stated at page dot of the book that Afe Babalola corrupted the Supreme Court of Nigeria to procure a fraudulent judgment in the service of his clients, which is likely to cause fear and alarm to the public, or disturb the public peace, knowing or having reasons to believe that the statement is false and thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under section 59 subsection 1 of the Criminal Code Act. Now, as you can see, Angel, before we get the person who waiting for us on Zoom, quite obviously, in the charge, the person who is prosecuting this matter is the Commissioner of Police versus Dele Farotimi. But when you go in, you'll find out that the person who is being defamed is Afe Babalola San. And obviously, it's a matter between him and Afe Babalola.
Exactly.
So now Afe Babalola is using the Nigerian police to victimize a citizen, because this is an obvious civil matter.
Yes, indeed, we are running a criminal justice system, because men looking at it, it's as if what he wrote in that book is what is disturbing them. And them playing to the gallery, them putting him in prison immediately without even bailing him out, which is a bailable offense. Yes. Is also telling the truth that, oh, what I wrote in that book is what is happening. And
I think that's why many people called for the purchase of that very book, so that people can actually go in and see. As I get to Mr. Tony, who is joining us via Zoom, let me quickly bring your attention to this, Mr. Tony. There is Ms. Piers actually sent out a tweet which I will want to bring to your attention. And of course, that very tweet, she said something about Afe Babalola requesting for all existing hard copies of Dele Farotimi's book to be recovered by the Nigerian police force is tyrannical. Go and order the book now. Let's make it a bestseller. Now, my question to you, Mr. Tony, is now that everybody is interested in this very particular book, Nigeria and its criminal justice system, and I have seen a lot of people who are moving to buy this book to read it. I'm obviously also has made a reservation for that book, of course. Now, do you think that the Supreme Court, which is indicted, should also come out to talk about this defamation? And of course, what is your take on Afe Babalola not acting, or the police acting for Afe Babalola? What is your take on that, Mr. Tony?
It's really a sad day for justice system in this country. And this idea of arresting people rather than going to court to charge them, I think the time has come for all these legislators every year doing constitutional amendment should work on that. In a civilized society, you don't arrest somebody and then go and do investigation. It's the other way around. You investigate and charge the person. You can't arrest somebody, put him in jail, and then go around investigating whatever you feel the person has done. It's wrong. And I think I've heard one government official that says it should not be done. I think the person was referring to EFCC. Do your investigation, then arrest the person and charge the person to court. Not put him in jail and then go about saying that you're investigating. Investigating what? It's nonsense. Tells you that this is not, is a country where if you have connection, everything is okay. You can get away with murder. But if you're a Yahoo guy, you'll be arrested right away and sent to many years in prison. I have never seen anything like this. A notable personality, somebody who has always said the truth, said what you and I would be afraid to say, because we can easily be arrested and locked up in jail. But this guy has the temerity to always say things the way they are, irrespective of who is in government. And this is what Nigerians like to hear. And you're just arresting this guy because he wrote something in the book. And this Babalola is also a lawyer. He knows what the rules of the game should be. He knows the process. And you just use the police because you are the mighty, untouchable, to go and arrest somebody and then hit him with a 16-count charge. It should be condemned by every sensible person worldwide, not just in Nigeria.
Okay.
We are showing the whole world the kind of regime, the kind of government we have in this country, that you can't speak up, say the truth, say what you see. Then if the government is offended, let them go to court and charge you with false accusation. Not arrest and detain. intimidation. That's exactly what it is. Do not criticize us because we are mightier than thou, and we can do anything and get away with it. So if you say the truth, we'll come after you. Just allow us to do what you are doing and getting away with it. It's ridiculous. And I mean, I think the whole world should look at Nigeria. And when people say bad things about Nigeria, this is an example of what is happening. This is what the world is saying. This is what all these foreign embassies in Nigeria, they report all these criminalities, all this corruption, everything that is bad happening in this country to their leaders. So when your leader here goes about flying all over the world, saying he's looking for investment, he realized that people are mocking him behind, laughing at him. They don't realize that. They think the people are excited about what they are doing, that they are governing the country, the big country like Nigeria, and then doing all kinds of rubbish in the name of governance. I hope Donald Trump, can put this guy where he belongs. Because he is another guy that says what he says. He doesn't care who you are. Okay. He will tell you what he feels.
Okay, Mr. Tony, thank you on that. Let's quickly see if Mr. Bassi is there. To get his own opinion in essentially, defamation is a publication of a statement. Mr. Bassi, if you are there, I'm coming to you right away. So defamation is a publication of a statement which lowers a person in the estimation of right-thinking members of the society, or which orders their view, kind of alters their view of such person who is the subject of the publications in a negative light. So, Mr. Bassi, we are talking of Afe Babalola right now, but the charge we see, the person who is prosecuting this matter is not Afe Babalola, but the Commissioner of Police in Ekiti State. So my question to you, Mr. Bassi, is the Obidient movement has declared that if he is not released unconditionally, they are going to move into a very massive physical protest. Do you see that happening as a matter of fact, or do you think that it is still the online protest that is ongoing, or you think that the Obidient movement will be activated to defend their very own?
Thank you, Mr. Kanu. Good evening, and good evening, listeners across the world. It's a sad moment in our nation. Every day we wake up, we are greeted with all manner of funny situation that ought not to be. For Obidient movement, it is natural. Dele is one of the Obidient who has been very, very outspoken, and especially on issues that affect good governance, issues that affect rule of law. He's been very vocal about it, and I think it's normal for us as a comrade to show solidarity in moments like this, to let the Nigerian government know that he's not alone, that his comrades are there to support him. Again, I think the call for mass action or protest, for me, I think it's a bit late, because this issue has been there since yesterday. But it's today that the leadership of Obidient movement just deem it fit to issue a statement. We need to be proactive in our actions. You don't sleep over an issue overnight and then suddenly wake up and if we were proactive, today, our Obidient movement ought to have been in the court in Ekiti to flood that place and let them know that we will not accept all manner of intimidation. I tell you the truth, if that had been done, I doubt if that judge would have had the courage to send Dele to prison. That wouldn't have happened. So I think this is also an eye-opener for us, that it is not just good enough for us to make all the noise on the social media. Sometimes we need to take certain physical action, when it matters most. And this situation is such an occasion. So be that as it may, I think there is still room for us to correct some of those anomalies. And then coming back to the issue of the charge, it's a funny situation that the people who call themselves leaders in the temple of justice in the legal profession, who are senior members of the inner bar, somehow are trying to twist the law and twist the constitution to suit their own personal interests. You were defining the defamation a while ago, and I don't see how that is a criminal act. So ordinarily, a judge who looked at that charge should have even thrown that charge away without even looking at it. So, but here we are, because of the people interest that is involved, the law has also once again been twisted. And this is why I feel concerned. We are doing all of this, and yet we want investors to come and invest in our nation. And they are seeing what is going on. How do you expect to convince a reasonably investor to come in and invest in Nigeria under this condition where the rule of law has totally been disseminated, being relegated to the background? So this is what it is. Our principal once said that rule of law is an intangible asset of any society. But here we don't see it as that. We believe that it is how we can just get around issues and get away with it with all manner of impunity. And when it suits us, we call rule of law. When it doesn't suit us, we turn a blind eye and a deaf ear. So that's what it is. But it's unfortunate that a highly ranked lawyer of that repute would decide to descend this law because he wants to take vengeance over a book that was published and his name was mentioned. If you feel this person has defamed you, what the right thing to do is to, seek redress in a civil case, not going to charge as a criminal case. Look at what it is. The person who is the plaintiff now is even the commissioner of police. How is the commissioner of police concerned in this matter? Is it the state that is prosecuting it, or is it now representing Afe Babalola? These are some of the things that you see going on, and it makes our country a laughing stock. That as if we don't know what we are doing. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much.
You know, I really think this is not an issue just for the Obidient. It is an issue for all Nigerians. Both the opposition political parties, they should weigh in on this matter. Not because this guy represents all of us. He speaks on our behalf. So we shouldn't leave it just to the Obedience. All these politicians, they should come in and condemn this and then do everything they can to get this guy released. And let Afe Babalola go to court and provide evidence to the court for defamation, which he alleges. This is just a book. And the guy has facts before he wrote that book. He wasn't just out there to defame Babalola. No. So this country is just twisted. Everybody's doing whatever they can get away with. If you are the big and mighty, you do whatever you want. Use the police, even the army. It's horrible. Let every Nigerian do something about this. Say something about this. Let them release this guy. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a call. Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Mr. Bassi. And for our viewers, thank you so much. And I want to expressly say that notwithstanding whether Nigerians, but especially Obedience, need to stand out for Mr. Dele Farotimi at this very hour. It is not enough for us to, go online and keep demanding for release. We must march the streets of Nigeria to make sure that one of our own, who we know has been upright with the truth in Nigeria, to come out. And I will also state categorically that the purpose of defamation as a civil wrong is to protect the good reputation of a person from being damaged by another person in the exercise of their rights as enshrined in Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The above sections provide for freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart ideas, information without interference. This is where the laws for defamation takes its reins. In furtherance of this purpose, it is the duty of the court sitting in a civil jurisdiction to determine whether your reputation has been damaged in the estimation of right-thinking persons. This ought to be done by testing the truth of the statements through a civil trial, where there will be an examination of the statement before the court, and the burden of proof will be allowed to shift to whoever alleges a fact to prove. Now, the police lack such authority and capacity via a criminal investigation or prosecution to determine the ingredients of defamation. Defamation, however serious it can be, does not give rise to criminal liability. The purpose of defamation, being a civil tortious liability, can only be properly achieved by escalating such to a court of competent jurisdiction by filing a civil action for defamation, and that is not for the police to do. Thank you very much, viewers. And Angel, of course, I will have to come. This defamation thing just have to be between Afe Babalola and Dele Farotimi.
Exactly.
The police should not come into that place. And I think the protest should not be on the court. It should be against the police. I mean, the youth should take this up as a protest against the police, because their brutalization, they have been used to, to malign and even do all sorts of things in Nigerian these days, including stealing. That's all they do.
Yes, we are not citizens, but victims of Nigeria. Yes, this intimidation and corruption is in the highest order. It needs to stop. The Nigerian police needs to do their work and stop intimidating people because, oh, this person is a high-profile person. No, all they said, your work is to protect lives and property. They didn't say some. They said lives and properties. Yes, you need to do the needful. Stop intimidating people. Yes, and for Afe Babalola to say they need to recover Dele Farotimi's book, he has no right. He has no right to do so because that is his sweat, his intellectual work. He has no right to do that. Thank you so much, my active citizens and Obidient worldwide. Like, share, subscribe. Let other Obidient know what is going on. Thumbs up to the video. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for being with us. We love you, but God loves you. Bye for now.